Oh yeah, pipe smokers. Ho ho. Yeah, it's a Paul Gilson YouTube channel. And I am Paul Gilson. And it's the 14th of January. It's 19 degrees outside, freezing, dark, and snowy. So let's have a smoke together. So grab your favorite pipe, grab your favorite blend, and grab a nice beverage. Let's have a smoke together. We got a good show tonight. Alrighty. So I've got my Gilson Canadian pipe here. Yeah. And what is it full of? It is full of some 4-year-old Rever plug, which is basically dark-fired Kentucky and Virginia. And you can only get that in the UK. They don't make it in the US. Let's start something on fire. So this blend basically doesn't burn well when you first start it up. So if I'm doing a bunch of relights and stuff like that, that's why. It's hard to get going, apparently. Let's start something on fire. Oh, yeah. This basically almost tastes like a Lakeland. Says once you get a third of the bowl, that normally it fires right up, man, and tastes great. Oh, yeah. That's so good. The wonderful thing about pipe smoking, it just relaxes you. I've got a beautiful candle going here. Nice vanilla candle. Oh, man. Oh, yeah. So I've been thinking about blending another batch. And obviously, you guys know, I'm a Latakia junkie. So I went into my blending box, brought it down here. There's probably about 8 different types of blending tobacco. And I wanted to make a really great Latakia blend. So I looked up what are the ingredients of some of the best Latakia blends. And here's what they told me. Obviously, some good quality Latakia. That's Cornell and Deal Cyprian Latakia. Okay. Bright, Virginia. Cornell and Deal, Bright, Virginia. All right. Some Oriental or Turkish, and some burley. So I have some Prince Albert burley that I'm going to put in there. But it said in the article, don't overload it with Latakia. So I'm thinking I might do like 30%, maybe 40% Latakia. And you can blend your own blends too if you want, you know. A lot of the, when you look up the pure blending tobaccos and you buy them, I don't know why this is, but for some reason they come in kind of dry. So what we're going to do, what I'm going to do tonight, I'm going to take all these blends, I'm going to take my rehydration buttons with just pure distilled water, I'm going to totally rehydrate them, and then I'm going to make a blend, and hopefully it's going to be great. Yeah. So tomorrow's Wednesday. One day closer to the weekend, one day closer to retirement. I mean, I'm 60 years old, but a lot of people, when they look at me and I tell them I'm 60, they're like, what? They think I'm in my 40s or whatever. I don't know. Maybe they're just being nice. I don't know. But I do know this. I look at the guys that I graduated with. Some of them have aged hard. They're 60 and they look 70. I think there's a proper balance in life. Meaning, if you want to stay looking young, first of all, having good genes helps. Meaning good family genes. Second of all, I'm getting the heck. I got to take a break. Oh my gosh. I'm back. That rubber plug is kicking my butt. I smoked it way too hard. We're going to slow down. Yeah, so if you got blending components and stuff like that, don't know why it is. I think somebody told me a reason once. But you got to rehydrate them. So I'm thinking about also throwing in some Smyrna, which gives it a velvety taste. And I'm thinking about throwing in some large Virginia flake, which is dry as a bone. Yeah. Whew. Wow, man. If you're not careful, that rubber plug will sneak up and kick your ass. Yeah. Oh, man. But it's good. That is surely good. All right, so yeah, we've graduated to a cigarette. So you want to make sure that before you blend your tobacco, make sure it's hydrated. And I've got these little buttons you can see here. See that one right there? They're rehydration buttons. You can buy them on Amazon. I think they come in packs of 4. Only use distilled water. So I want to rehydrate all these tobaccos before I make my blend, because they're crunchy right now. I don't want them to turn to dust, you know. So to do that, I'll show you how I do it. Okay, so the way I rehydrate tobacco is you got to have these rehydration buttons. You have to soak them for at least a half hour in distilled water, okay? You got to have one of these canning things, all right? You got to have a wide mouth mason jar along with the wide mouth top. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this. You can't see it on camera. Maybe you can, I don't know. We're going to take that. We're going to take some of our Cornell and Deal Latakia, and we're going to put, that's pretty dry. So try to handle it so it doesn't crunch and turn to dust in your hands. And we're going to put a small amount in the bottle. So we end up with something like that. Yeah, that's just what I want. The reason why I use this, it provides a much wider opening so you're not spilling tobacco. So I'm going to take that. I got a couple inches in the bottom, maybe 1.5 inches. I'm going to take my little buttons here, kind of shake the excess water off of them. That's what a rehydration button looks like. Shake the excess water off. Then I'm going to dump one in the bottom. Shake off the next one. 2 in the bottom. 3 in the bottom. 4 in the bottom. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of align them so they're somewhat equidistant apart. And you'll end up with something like that. Then what we do is we'll take this again, and we're going to grab another couple handfuls. gently put it on top. And there we go. Kind of shake it around a little bit. Kind of tap that baby. All right. Then we're going to take another 4 more. I don't know, I got like 20 of these things. Shake it off, shake the excess water off. You don't want water coming directly into contact with your tobacco. You want the moisture that's inside of the rehydration button to do its job without having water directly contacting it. And then we're going to line these up a little bit so that they have an equidistance apart. Use my little poker, and you should have something like that. And then we're going to repeat the process once again. Putting that there. And putting some Latakia on top. Or whatever you're rehydrating. Tap that baby. Tap that around. And then you just keep repeating the process with rehydration buttons till you get to the top. Then you let it sit for a couple of days. Then you get a stainless steel bowl. You dump everything into it. By now it should be somewhat hydrated, so it's not going to crumble in your hands. And then, oh, I love the smell of that Cyprian Latakia. And then you just keep repeating this process. So when I have everything full with all those layers of tobacco, rehydration buttons, I'm going to let it sit 2 days. Then I'm going to dump it all out in a stainless steel bowl or whatever, clean container. I'm going to take the rehydration buttons out. I'm going to let them soak for another 15 minutes to a half hour. Or if you've got enough of them, you can just go right at it. If it's still not moist enough, then you do the whole layering process over again. And that's what you do. With every one of your blends, you want to rehydrate. I want to rehydrate this stuff before I make my blend so that it's not all crunchy and turns to dust, okay? And if you got real dry tobacco, just be careful, man. Just reach your hand in there, scoop it out gently. This actually isn't too bad, but it is a little dry. And that's the way you do it. And there we have it, 1 quart of tobacco rehydrating with 19 buttons, rehydration buttons inside of it. Make sure that you change your water, all right? You only want to soak those once, all right? Normally what I'll do is I'll rehydrate my tobacco. I'll soak them again in clean distilled water, shake them up, let them sit for a day. Then I empty the old water out. It cleanses the rehydration buttons. You don't want to cross-contaminate. So that's my little take, yeah, on that. This is probably, it's not super dry, so it's probably going to take, I'll let this sit for 2 days. I don't want to let it sit too long because even though I'm using distilled water, I don't want too much moisture to get in there. It'll create mold. So 1, maybe 2 days. I'll probably check it tomorrow, see how the moisture content feels in my hands, and then put the cap back on and check it the next day, feel how the moisture content, I'll dig down in there. Then I'll empty those out. I'll cleanse the rehydration buttons again, dump the old water out, drain them out, put them back in there to soak for an hour, and then do that process all over again. So I hope this has helped some of you guys. Paul the Pipe Guy over and out.